not live in a two-dimensional world.
We won't go in one direction
or seek where we can say.
We will walk through walls.
We will take a look around us.
We will not be confined.
We believe in the path of least limits.
We won't be told how to view the world.
We will experience true freedom.
We will not compromise.
We will live the game through our hands.
We will be in control of something.
We will change the system.
If you're anything like me and grew up in the 90s, then I'm sure that you recognize that last commercial. Hey there, it's me, DMFF, and I am back to you again today for another Top 10. My Top 10 favorite N64 games of all time. I love Nintendo so much, and whether it be an N64 game with a dorky little kid version of myself sticker, or it even be a classic like Star Tropics 2. I love Nintendo and all of their games that they come out with. Some of the best games that I have ever played are Nintendo products, and I just wanted to make a video today letting you all know my favorite top 10 N64 games for the Nintendo, because this is a 200 subscribers special! Even though, 200 may not seem like a lot, but it is a big deal to me. I started with no subscribers and very low numbers, and it's good to see that people enjoy my content. So if you continue to like my content, let me know down in the comments, so then that way I can, interact with you, and maybe you can give me some suggestions for what you would like, because I am making this content not only for me, but also for you. It's to entertain you, and it's a lot of fun to make these videos, whether it be card openings or games or anything of the like. I appreciate you all for being here, and here's to many more people hopefully finding this channel so that I can share my love for games with you all out on the internet as well. But without further ado, let me show you my top 10 favorite N64 games of all time, starting with number 10. Yoshi's Story. Yoshi's Story is a side-scrolling platform game published and developed by Nintendo for the N64. It released in North America on Mario Day, or March 10th, of 1998. Yoshi's Story was a lighthearted, pop-up storybook-style game that was rated E for everyone, and it definitely felt rated E for everyone. It was a very lighthearted and easy gameplay for the most part, while there were some challenges, unlike finding some of the special Yoshis, like the white and the black Yoshis, and a little bit of collect-a-thoniness throughout the game. The game is fairly straightforward and easy. While it is definitely not as good as Yoshi's Island on the Super Nintendo, I do feel that this is a fairly strong entry on the Nintendo 64 library. I know for me, when I was a kid and this game came out, it was like a nice reprieve from some of the more difficult games that I was used to playing, with Yoshi as the main character. I mean, who doesn't love Yoshi? If you haven't played it, I definitely would recommend giving it a shot. It isn't, like, the worst Yoshi game, but it is pretty good. Just, albeit, quite easy. This is my number 10 pick for the N64. Number 9. Pokemon Stadium. Pokemon Stadium released in North America on March 6th of 2000, and was essentially a Pokemon battle simulator where you could take your teams of Pokemon from Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, and Pokemon Yellow using the included transfer pack that was included with the game. In doing so, you were able to battle against your friends on the television, or even play the single-player mode.
where you could battle the gym leaders and also participate in various tournaments using your Pokemon that you raised from any one of your Pokemon Red, Blue, or Yellow copies. While this seems kind of like a weird gimmick, looking back at it now, I remember highly enjoying playing this against my friends. It was the absolute best way for us to be able to battle our Pokemon, as link cables were definitely kind of weird and the graphics weren't as good. So this was like revolutionary for myself and my friends when this came out. And we definitely battled Pokemon like almost daily on Pokemon Stadium. On top of this, there are definitely secret unlockables. You can unlock Pokemon to transfer over to your Pokemon Red, Blue, or Yellow copies that had special moves. And there's even these funky little mini games here. These mini games we did play, myself and my friends, sometimes if we would get tired of battling. We would play in these strange little mini games where it's basically like Mario Party except Pokemon. And not really as fun as I remember them being, but they were fun with a bunch of friends as a bunch of kids. So, for that reason, and my nostalgia-tinted glasses, admittedly, Pokemon Stadium is my number 9 pick for the N64. Number 8. Super Smash Bros., also now known as Super Smash Bros. 64 or just Smash 64, is a game that came out in North America on April 26th, 1999. It is a crossover fighting game, but also a party game at the same time, as it takes an approach that is a bit less about technicality and more about fun. This game included a crossover between several different Nintendo franchises, including Mario, The Legend of Zelda, Star Fox, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Metroid, F-Zero, Mother, Kirby, and Pokemon. It presents a very large cast of characters and locations from these franchises, and allows players to choose from any one of these characters with unique skills and funky stage hazards and items to inflict damage, recover health, and try to knock opponents off of the stage, either off of the sides, down below if there's a hole, or up into the sky, where they go flying away. This was given an Editor's Choice Award from IGN for Best Fighting Game, and also became a Nintendo 64 Player's Choice title. I myself, along with many of my friends, as soon as this came out, can just watch this commercial.
Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be the only one for me is you. Happy together.
Something's gone wrong in the happy-go-lucky world of Nintendo. Introducing Super Smash Bros., where all your favorite characters go toe-to-toe in one 4-player star-studded slam fest, only on Nintendo 64.
Well, anyway, yeah, we all saw that commercial, and we all went nuts for the idea, so we all picked up copies of Smash, and all had it at our respective houses, so, you know, we would practice against, you know, the hardest versions of the single-player mode, and try to play against NPCs that were at, like, level 9, so then we could all get together and play, you know, either four-player split screen, or even have 1v1 tournaments among each other. We played so much of this. I remember having an absolute blast with my friends and even family members who all got in on this game because there was just so many different franchises that it was bound to have something that somebody enjoyed. It was revolutionary, and that's why it, exists as a series even to this day. And poor Sakurai having to do all this work on this. But honestly, Sakurai, thank you so much for all the work you put into this. And your hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, don't go unappreciated. I just wish they'd let you take a break, man. But anyway, this is my number 8 pick, Super Smash Bros. An absolute classic. Play it if you haven't. Number 7, Mario Kart 64. Mario Kart 64 is a kart racing video game developed and published by Nintendo for the N64. It released in North America on February 10th of 1997. This game became an immediate classic among myself and my friends, as we all liked to play this alongside Super Smash Bros. When it ultimately came out. But this came first and was one of the competitive yet fun games that we could all play together. It was like a revolution on driving games in general, as most driving games up to this point weren't very good. This one is excellent. The controls are fantastic, and while it does use sprite work to trick you into thinking that some of these characters are in 3D when they truly aren't, it still looks great in my opinion. It has, aged a little bit, but it is still one of my favorite Mario Karts out there. It's aged a lot better than the Super Nintendo version, I'll tell you that. But this had everything that the Super Nintendo version did, as well as some new things. All the items are, here, but instead of being blocks flat on the ground, you actually had to collect them in a 3D space. The, red shells, blue shells, triple shells, the like, the triple shells make their first appearance here, as well as the blue shell making its first appearance here. But this racing game was a lot of fun, with lots of various tracks throughout the Mushroom Kingdom. And we can't forget the battle mode. The battle mode was one of the selling points of the game for me. While I enjoyed the races and completely, beat the game out of the water, the battle mode was something that my friends and family would often play together and against each other competitively for hours and hours on end, having some of the silliest battles I've ever seen in my life. Such a great time. And if you haven't played the battle mode against your friends ever, and you have access to this game, give it a shot. You'll see how much fun it is. Just let go and have some nice couch battle time. But this is my number 7 game, Mario Kart 64. Number 6, Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards is a platforming game developed by HAL Laboratory and published by Nintendo for the N64. It released in North America on June 27th, 2000. This is another one of those side-scrolling platformers on the system that I feel is one of the better side-scrolling platformers actually on the N64. While this game is relatively short and relatively not very difficult, I do very much enjoy the gameplay of this game. It is one of the more fun Kirby games that I have played throughout all of Kirby's history. I would say that my favorite is probably Kirby Superstar for the SNES, but that's neither here nor there. This game rivals it for sure, as in this game, while there are only, I believe, 7 power-ups that you can actually swallow to get abilities in this game. There is a new mechanic introduced in this game that allows Kirby to collect a power combo by spitting 2 enemies at once at each other, or by throwing an ability at another ability, or by inhaling 2 enemies at once that both have powers. And that will create a combo between 2 abilities, combining them into one. And there are 28 possible combinations. All of these combinations are stronger than normal copy abilities as well, and make for really exciting gameplay. You want to try to mix and match all the different abilities that you possibly can, because, you know, you just want to see what Kirby can do. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't given this game a shot, I definitely recommend it. It is fairly short, but it is a whole lot of fun, and you could probably get through it fairly quickly, depending on how, you know, good at platformers you are, I suppose. But I definitely recommend it. It's a ton of fun, and one of my favorite Kirby games of all time. This is my number 6 pick, Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards. Number 5, Mario Party 3. Mario Party 3 is a party game developed by Hudson Soft and published by Nintendo for the N64, releasing May 7th, 2001 in North America. This was the 3rd installment in the Mario Party series. I enjoyed all 3 of them on the Nintendo 64. 2 and 3 are the ones that I go back and play the most. I don't really play Mario Party 1 anymore, as it is like the most bare bones of them, as it was the starting point. I do recognize that it was very important to the genre, and I actually, back in the day, completely 100%ed that game. I just will never do that again. My poor palms. Anyway, from playing Mario Party 2 and 3 so much, from what I have seen, I tend to enjoy Mario Party 3 a bit more. I find it's a bit more balanced and a bit more fun, as long as you're playing with people, as, you know, Mario Party typically tends to be like. These games are best played with a total of 4 people, as a lot of hilarity can ensue, and a lot of broken up friendships can happen if you're not too careful, and just take it with a light heart, I suppose, because it's just a game at the end, right? Right? But anyway, this one seems to be the most balanced and fun in my opinion, and within my play group. So when we do go back and play N64 Mario parties, this is the one that we choose. However, we more likely than not play Mario Party 6 on the GameCube, as that is one of our favorites in particular in our play group, for as wacky and fun as it is, and that night and day mechanic taken from Mario Party 2 as one map is throughout the entirety of the game, and actually makes for a lot of fun. So if you haven't tried Mario Party 3 or Mario Party 6, shout out. And maybe, will there be a top 10 GameCube video? Oh, who knows? Maybe that'll be a 1,000 subscriber special. Probably not. But anyway, this is my number 5 pick for the N64. It is Mario Party 3. Number 4, Paper Mario. Paper Mario is a role-playing game developed by Intelligent Systems and published by Nintendo for the N64, releasing February 5th, 2001 in North America. I remember hearing murmurings about a Super Mario RPG 2 that I feel like I read in some magazine when I was a kid. I can't remember any longer. Anyway, I heard murmurings of a Super Mario RPG too, and was extremely excited. What came out instead was this, Paper Mario. Though a bit different, and, in my opinion, quite a bit easier than Super Mario RPG, I feel that Paper Mario is an excellent, albeit easy, RPG. It has great Mario storytelling. If you like it, you like it. If you hate it, you hate it. Because that's basically what it is here. Except, you know, there is a little bit more emphasis on Peach in this game after you complete each dungeon and rescue each star spirit. You get a little snippet with Peach and sometimes Bowser. But you get to see a bit of what happens in the meantime while you're off saving all these star spirits and trying to rescue her. This game's pretty great. The mechanics are fairly similar to Super Mario RPG, except it's a menu style, and there is timed hits and timed blocks just like in Super Mario RPG. And I feel that the graphics have aged the best on the N64 overall from any game. This would be number one if this video was top 10 games that I think have aged the best. The graphics have aged very well. It just looks like, you know, like it's an artistic choice, which it was, and it was a very smart artistic choice because it honestly looks great still to this day. Like, even the next one, Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door on the GameCube, which is how old now, that game holds up really well, too. It looks beautiful still. Absolutely love the graphics on these games. And it's a great RPG as well, with varied scenery that you see throughout the entirety of the game and exploring the world, and it comes to a rather difficult conclusion, but you know, Mario wins in the end conclusion, as you would know in all of these Mario games. But it's a lot of fun, and a lot of the characters have just that, a lot of character. Just like the characters in Super Mario RPG. You could really tell that there was a lot of love put into this game, and if you haven't played it and you love RPGs, give this one a shot. I highly recommend it. Maybe someday I'll play it and add it to the channel. Comment down below if you want to see that. But anyway, this is my number 4 pick, Paper Mario. Number 3, The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask, is an action-adventure game developed and published by Nintendo for the N64, releasing October 26th, 2000, which, honestly, for this game, is like a perfect release date. I always associate Majora's Mask with Halloween, probably because of the release date and how dark and spooky this game actually is. I bet you didn't think you were going to see any Zelda on here unless it was number 1. But here it is. This is Majora's Mask, which used the same engine as The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. It's its direct sequel, but anyway, it is its direct sequel, and you are basically playing as Child Link after the events of Ocarina of Time. It was completed in less than 2 years because of this use of Ocarina of Time's physics engine. This game had some enhanced graphics and some game changes. I'm not sure, but I feel like this game may have needed the expansion pack. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments, because I'm probably wrong. Maybe I'm not. But anyway, this video game is totally different than Ocarina of Time, as you are stuck in a 3-day cycle. So you're constantly put on like a time limit. Wherever you go, whatever you do, you have to have, purpose with everything you do. And everyone within this 3-day cycle is on a schedule. So like everybody has their own lives, and it makes the world feel kind of lived in and doesn't feel like a desolate wasteland of a town. I don't know, it feels really nice, and it just definitely spooked me a lot as a kid, but it like kept me coming back because it was very interesting, very dark, very cool. If you haven't played it, I'm not going to spoil anything in this video or anything like that. But I highly recommend you give this game a play if you like The Legend of Zelda. If the 3-day time constraint sounds like it's 3 in-game days. I forgot about how long that actually takes, but if that time constraint stresses you out, I understand. It can definitely be a bit stressful, but it is worth it if you enjoy Zelda games, and you do end up finding ways to slow down time later on in the game. But other than that, I highly recommend this game. It has so much action and craziness and creepiness and darkness and sadness and acceptance. And I have accepted that it is my number 3 pick. The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. Number 2, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time is an action-adventure game developed and published by Nintendo for the N64, and was released both in Japan and North America on November 21st, 1998. This was one of the largest titles ever released within that time frame of 1998. This game felt like an absolute open world, even though it really wasn't, and it was very much a linear game for the most part. It was absolutely amazing to see The Legend of Zelda in a 3D universe for the first time. This opened us up to a whole new world of possibilities, and the game was designed all around this 3D space. While Majora's Mask is very interesting and different from the Legend of Zelda formula to an extent because of the 3-day time constraint, this game allows you to take your time and go through the game as quickly or as slowly as you want to. Take in the scenery. Take in everything that the developers actually show you in this 3D space. While it has aged quite a bit, I do still find these graphics charming and definitely of their time. Late 90s graphics were not the best, but late 90s graphics to this extent were better than some of the competitors in the same space. If you haven't given this game a try, I definitely recommend it. If you can't stand these graphics, the game has been remade for 3DS. I definitely would recommend picking that up if it's at a reasonable price point for you, because this game is one of my favorites of the Legend of Zelda series, but isn't my favorite. That's A Link to the Past. But it is an excellent game, and I totally recommend you give it a play if you have not. I'm sure you're wondering why this isn't in the number 1 spot, but there is one game that I feel is the best game on the Nintendo 64, and that is number 1, BanjoKazooie. BanjoKazooie is a 1998 platforming game developed by Rare and published by Nintendo for the N64, releasing June 29th, 1998 in North America. a game that actually released earlier in North America than in Japan or the United Kingdom. BanjoKazooie, in my opinion, is the best made collectathon game ever made. The mechanics are absolutely fun and wonderful, and allow for various different control types throughout the game. You do kind of feel like, it feels a little bit like a Metroidvania in a way as well, as you unlock more abilities and, you know, more skills that you can use with Kazooie, or just different attacks, or all sorts of different stuff while you go throughout these varied, fun, and colorful, full of life worlds where you collect music notes and you collect jiggies, as everyone likes to call them, these golden jigsaw puzzle pieces that you can collect them all throughout the game and get a special ending that I will not spoil here, even though the game is decades old at this point. Instead, I urge you to play this game. It's beautiful, it's fun, the collectathon feels rewarding. When you find a Jiggy, it doesn't send you back to the beginning of the level, or back to the hub world, which, in this case, it's Gruntilda's castle. But even that feels like a strange little place, is Gruntilda's castle, or whatever it's called. The area where you've put together all these Jiggies to be able to access these worlds to get more Jiggies and rescue the Jinjos. But anyway, give this game a play. It is full of character and humor and color and craziness and a little bit of spookiness. And this is another game that I associate greatly with Halloween, just because I mean, look at it. Look at this game. It looks like it belongs in Halloween. Rare, they really knew how to make great games back in this time frame. The Donkey Kong Country series. This BanjoKazooie, in my opinion, is the best collectathon of all time. And the fact that it has like those Metroidvania-like features just make it the best Nintendo 64 game, in my opinion, on the entirety of the console. However, it does not have two-player. It is only a single-player game, which, you know, makes it difficult to play with your friends or anything like that. But this was a game that, you know, when we were all at home by ourselves, this is what we would be playing in, you know, 1998. In the summertime, when we're off of school, we'd be playing BanjoKazooie if we were not at each other's houses. And then we would talk about it and all the different secret hidden stuff and cheats and all sorts of crazy stuff that we would find, because we would, like, scour these maps like crazy and try to find hidden Easter eggs and things, in which we did, which I won't spoil here. You'll have to look that up yourself. Or play the game and try to find them yourself. Like we did. Because we didn't have the internet back in 1998. We just found these things. But anyway, I've rambled for way too long about this game. As you can tell, I absolutely love it. BanjoKazooie is easily my favorite N64 game, and one of my favorite games of all time. Maybe I'll do a top 50 games of all time, I don't know. If you want that, just drop that in the comments. Maybe I'll make it one day. But this will definitely be on there somewhere, as it is it's amazing. My favorite. Give it a play if you haven't. But my number one pick is BanjoKazooie. Thank you for watching my top 10 N64 games. my 200 subscriber special. If you liked this top 10, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell for more content. Also, comment down below and let me know what you would like for top 10s. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video and this 200 subscriber special, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.